Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge,
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
and let's talk horror. So today we are joined by the amazing Shani Grewal of the upcoming Ride the Snake. Shani, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm waiting for this to be over so I can have a Jack Daniels. Actually, I should have a Jack Daniels during.
Yeah, see,
Yes,
I've had two since we
absolutely.
started. So a little bit about Shani before we actually get into why you're here. You have written and directed three feature films: After Midnight, Double X, The Name of the Game, featuring William Catt, who is a part of my first horror movie, my favorite horror movie, House from
Mhm.
1985.
Love it.
So that jumped off the page at me, as well as the cult classic Guru and Seven.
Mhm.
You've also developed several feature screenplays in the UK Film Council, Telefilm Canada, Film 4, the Yorkshire Media Production Agency, the Lifetime International, Playboy Channel, and Miramax. So, I mean, you've been all over the place with the work that you do. And your most recent screenplay, 77 Minutes, beat 2,000 other entries to win Best Horror Screenplay at the Austin Film Festival. So, man, you've got a lot of feathers in the cap, but to beat out all these other films to win Best Horror Screenplay, what was that like for you?
A complete shock, total, because here I am in England, in the UK, and Austin Film Festival is very, very well known and prestigious. I didn't think I had a hope in hell. And when I got called to say that, I was a finalist, it was brilliant, and I had to go there. And I still didn't think that I would win. I hadn't prepared a speech, and so when my name was called, I had no idea what to say. And I think I blubbered and blabbered, and there was some amazing people there. I think John Singleton was there, and I was just in awe of kind of some of the judges who were there. It was brilliant. It was like I was in a dream. It was great.
I
Mhm.
bet. That's awesome.
But I mean, for you to, like I said, obviously you're doing the right things. You
Hmm.
know, you've done so many different amazing projects, and we're very, very excited to talk to you about Ride the Snake.
Yeah. So, Shani, how did you get involved in Ride the Snake, the project?
Oh, okay. I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. So my last film was in 1998 called Guru in Seven. It has been trying to make movies in the UK very, very difficult. And after Guru in Seven, although it got really great notices and made some money, um, I did have a film that was in development with Miramax called Crime of the Century. But after I think it was 3 or 4 years, they dropped it and we went our separate ways. And I couldn't make the film. So I needed money and I went into directing TV, and I didn't stop working for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. It was great. I probably learned more working in TV than directing TV drama than I did uh, making the three feature films up to that point. Um, but there came a time now. I mean, my heart has always been in making movies, and I tried really hard to get other projects off the ground. I had a fantastic trilogy called Silas Gore, which Alice Cooper had agreed to do the music for. And we had at that time Cillian Murphy and Johnny Depp. And it still fell apart. So I was devastated a little bit by that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do a movie. How can I do it? Luckily, I've been around a while. I have a lot of friends who are actors and crew. And I just reached out to these people and said, listen, I haven't got much money. I will pay you. We need to make a movie of a really kind of low budget. Will you do it for me? And pretty much everyone said yes. I mean, that's the great thing about movies when when you reach out to people, they like to do movies, and especially when they're friends of yours. And um,
Hmm.
originally, I actually wanted for them to all improv. So I had the central idea, and I wanted the actors to improv. Um, but when it got down to it, they didn't want to improv. So I said, "Okay, you got to write a script, man." But we'd already started prep, so I had about a week or 2 weeks to write this script, and then it evolved as it always does when we were shooting.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So you've talked about how you've directed TV, you've directed film, you've written for TV, you've written for film. Is it easier for you to be a writer director or just to come onto a project and direct? Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I much prefer writing and directing, although having said that, I will hold my hands up and say that I am not the best writer in the world. Would that I were Quentin Tarantino or Aaron Sorkin or whoever. But I'm not. But I do have some interesting ideas, and a lot of the scripts I've written have come from experience. Even bizarrely, Ride the Snake, where the main character or one of the two main characters is a little bit schizophrenic. So I have kind of experience of that. So, it's easy for me sometimes to come up with stories, but really, dialogue is not a great thing, which is why I am so happy when actors improvise and they
Yeah.
take the meaning of my lines and they do what they do with it, which is brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you help people get into character? Do you have any techniques?
Techniques. That's really great. Yes, or is it no? Um, I know from the very start that I love actors, all actors, whether they be difficult or not. I have a wonderful story with William Catt. I don't know if I should tell you that. Okay. Okay, all right. Bill, if you watch this, please, you know you deserve it, this story to be told. Anyway, we were on a soundstage at Brave Film Studios, and Bill was surrounded by all these British thespians. So he was sitting on a sofa. Next to him was Gemma Craven, very well known, Slipper and the Rose, Cinderella, all this kind of stuff. At that time, that is. And then there was Leon Herbert, fantastic actor. Then there was Bernard Hill, who later on, played captain of the Titanic and King Theoden and so many other things. And then there was Simon Ward, who was a really fabulous young Winston. He'd worked with amazing directors. Anyway, so we were doing the scene. It was quite a complicated scene, and suddenly in the middle of it, Bill yelled out, "Well, I don't know what's going on and I don't know what I'm doing." And everyone froze. And I'm like this. And so that he did nothing. He never played the I'm the American star, never. And I thought, what have I done? What's gone wrong here? So I asked the first AD to call a 10-minute break, and I took him outside. Now he was playing a hitman, and he had this black suit on, and this was before Reservoir Dogs. And I really like this. And I put my arm around his shoulders and we walked around Brave Film Studios. And at the time they were shooting a music video and he didn't have his jacket on. So he had a shoulder holster with a gun and a white shirt and a black tie and black trousers and his blonde hair slicked back. I mean, he looked mega cool. And we were walking around and I was like, uh, yeah, what's up, Bill? He said, yeah, I can't understand motivation, my character, and this and that. And there would be people coming out of another stage, and they were all rock stars. So you had David Bowie, who was filming something there, and I think George Michael, and they would all stare at him as they walked past, and he. I think he really liked because he was wearing his shoulder holster, and he looked spectacular. Um, Basically, I think, and Bill, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think he, with all these British thespians, he had to, kind of maybe assert himself a little bit. And I think he did. And all he needed was to be acknowledged. I think that I maybe didn't give him as much attention as I should have. So that's kind
Mhm.
of my fault as well as a learning thing for me. But in answer to your question, I hope that's one way. Just massage your actors and and know where they're coming from. I made huge mistakes with some actors. I was directing a TV series in Romania, and there was some lead actress who I needed to get under a bed. She was clothed and all that, so it wasn't anything naughty. And she kept not doing it, and I lost my temper with her and said, "What are you, some kind of effing film star?" You know, and she said, "Well, yes, I am," and that was totally, the wrong way to handle it. So, yeah, with actors, I just think you need to know that they need to know that as a director, you're there to look after them, and you will
Yeah.
look after them, and that's the most important thing that I've learned.
And at least you learn from those mistakes and you
Mhm.
learn not, I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
We've all lost our temper. We've all said things we didn't mean. At least you were able to learn from that and grow as a
Yes.
human and become a better director because of it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you just have to keep it in. Sometimes you do feel like exploding, but you just can't.
It doesn't help.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
It just makes things
no.
worse.
Yep.
So can you give us a little non-spoiler synopsis about the film?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing maybe I should. It's basically about a woman who is blinded after a car crash, and she and her daughter rope her stepson in to try and get revenge on the guy who was responsible, who was driving the other car, and who pretty much got off scot-free. So kind of and it all pretty much takes place at the scene of the accident and in one house, where they try to exact their revenge.
Well, we talked a little bit about it non-spoilery, and now,
Mhm.
guys, we are going to show you the trailer for Ride the Snake. So let's get you guys a little bit more excited. Here's the trailer.
A toast. Your father was my life for 20 years. That thing killed him, and then he laughed about it.
What's going on?
When all has been tried and justice is not in sight, it is then right to pick up the sword. It is then right to fight.
I've been dreaming about you all night.
We are going to try him again.
It's your duty to be a part of this. You owe it to Dad.
I owe it to Dad to retry a mentally ill man.
Sebastian's not crazy.
You have got to let him go. Listen to me, whatever happens.
Hi, I've come for my father.
Get out my way, girlie.
Get off!
I see you've met our Lilith. And how are you proposing to bring a demon to trial?
Which one of you killed my husband?
I am guilty as charged! We'll play hide and seek.
Now, you have seen the trailer for Ride the Snake, and I hope that it made you just as excited as it made us to be able to watch the film.
Absolutely. So, Shani, can you tell us your experience on set?
My experience on set, yes, it was probably the most painful experience of my filmic life, and I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So in that respect, yes, I learned a huge amount. It was a huge pleasure working with my actors. I loved them, and we had a great time. The the painful part, and filmmaking is painful, even for Steven Spielberg, it still can be painful. But in that, it's a kind of a masochistic pain. You actually love it as well because you're creating something. I think the reason is, and probably every director will say this anyway, I think, being brutally honest, we did not have enough money and we didn't have enough time to shoot it as I wanted. So we had to do some things on the fly, which, actually in the end, some of it worked out amazingly. So, without without it being a spoiler, there's a scene where the bad guys are kind of searching for the good guys at night by torchlight. And we did not have the time to shoot it the way I wanted, from every room and so on. So we had to do it in basically 2 shots. And on the day, I thought, okay, suddenly it came to me, one of my favorite films is Night of the Hunter. And one of the things I should say to those people who do watch it, I think our PR people are having a competition where if you can spot the number of nods to other movies, you'll get some kind of a prize. There are dozens of them. And this one was Night of the Hunter, where I had both the characters singing Feelings, which was the song that Robert Mitchum and Lillian Gish sang in that. And I love that hymn. And they both did it, and they both did it in harmony, and it's beautiful. And it adds so much to that. So, the lack of money helped. But, basically, by and large, I think that was the main thing. And because of the lack of money, I did not shoot the ending that I wanted, the ending that I had written, which was, spectacular. But we didn't have the time. So on the day, I had to rewrite the ending. It does make sense if you watch the film a couple of times. First time, people do get like, I don't understand what happened. Well, think and watch
Right.
it again, and you'll get it. You will get it. It's there. All the pieces are there.
Awesome. Well, and we talk about, especially, I love an ending where I don't have to have my hand held and walk through it. So when can people expect to see the film?
Well, it's out on Amazon. Excuse me, it's out on Amazon now. And so already it's got, from what I understand, many thousands of people watching it, which is gratifying. I'd rather have tens and hundreds of thousands, millions if possible. So please, go ahead and watch it. I don't think, but if you don't expect a slasher. It has got its, a little bit of blood and gore and stuff, but mainly it was the film. I love films like The Shining, Don't Look Now, Rosemary's Baby, Nosferatu, and it's more a psychological horror rather than a slasher. So don't expect that, but expect hopefully to be engaged by the characters and the story and trying to figure out what on earth is going on. So yes, Amazon. After that, our brilliant sales agents, Indie Rights, are going to take it to the Cannes Film Festival in May, and after that, we'll see where it goes.
Right.
Awesome.
Well, and you guys don't have to go far to find the film, because I have that Amazon link right down in the description, guys. So make
Brilliant.
sure you're clicking that link. Make sure you're checking out the film. I also have the website for the film down in the description as well, guys, so you can check that out. Shani, I want to thank you so much for giving us the time to come on here and talk about this movie, man. It really does mean a lot to the both of us. Please don't go anywhere, though, my friend. I got a couple more questions for you. Everyone else, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror,
Say who you are.
and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.